Hey, Cody Rall here with Tech4Psych. So I'm back in Alaska on vacation, and 2 years ago I actually filmed a video in this very spot. It was my meditation video talking about how meditation changes expression of your DNA. And I wanted to film this video in the same spot because, since in the 2 years that I filmed that video, I've done a lot more technical stuff. I've talked about the development of brain scans, biofeedback devices, everything that has to do with the brain and how you can document what's actually happening to the brain in different environments. And a common concern that people have brought up on my videos is that, yeah, it's technology that's great, but it's taken away from our natural experience. It's taken away from us getting out in nature. It's taken away from us actually experiencing the world the way that it was meant to be experienced. And I completely agree in certain aspects. I think that if you're sitting in a cold, dark office looking at your computer for a week straight, that's certainly not good for your physical or mental health. But how can we use technology to augment our experience of the natural world? The natural world is a very healing environment. It's very good for us. We feel exhilarated after we get back from being in nature, at least most people do. And why is that? And on this trip, I've been reading this book, this really interesting book called Into the Wild. Maybe you've actually heard of it. There was a film made about it. And it's about this guy that was in his early 20s named Chris McAndless, who grew up in Washington, D.C., which is where I'm actually doing my medical training right now. And he, after college, decided that he didn't want to be in civilization anymore. He didn't want anything to do with technology. He didn't want anything to do with civilization, and basically lived off the land for 2 years. So he was mostly in the western United States for the majority of those 2 years, living Arizona, Nevada, in parts of California, and sort of living off the land. He would buy bags of rice, carry that in with him, but then also eat indigenous plants and animals, and really just see if he could survive on his own in the wild off the grid. And what had ended up happening is his final trip, he wanted to go up to Alaska, which is, of course, where I grew up. And he went up to Fairbanks, and then he went down near Denali National Park and went into the wild, went in and actually found this bus that was abandoned in the wilderness and lived off of squirrels, porcupines. He actually shot a moose at one point. He was in there for several months, but unfortunately his caloric balance wasn't quite what it should have been, so he lost a lot of weight. And even though he tried to leave after about 3 months and he would have been fine, the river that he had originally crossed got too high. He went back in for another month, and unfortunately he ate a part of a plant that poisoned him. It actually caused his neurology not to work very well. He wasn't able to walk, and he wasn't able to hunt anymore, and he starved to death. It was a really sad story, and there was a lot of research over the years about what actually he ate and what happened to him, and this book was written. And one of the themes of this book, it's really interesting, talking about how he wanted to go off the grid, what kind of person he was, and relating him to other people that have done similar things, left civilization behind and just went into nature to live off the land. So the question is technology really bad for you or not? I think technology in moderation is good, and I think that we can streamline our technology to make us augment our experience of the natural environment. And dare I mention Pokemon Go, but it's definitely a global phenomenon right now. It just came out last week and has passed pornography and users on the internet, which has never happened before. It's supposed to be surpassing Twitter here pretty shortly. And I think it's a first in a long line of technology that's going to be augmenting our experience of the natural world, getting us out, getting us walking again, getting us interacting with other people again. And as you can imagine, as these technologies come out, things like Oculus Rift or even new versions of Google Glass, maybe contact lenses that have augmented holograms over the natural world will help us integrate back into nature and get us interacting with technology in ways that we never thought before possible. No longer tied to the outlet within the building, no longer tied to the Wi-Fi system that is coming out of the our human-made structures, getting us back into the environment using technology to augment those experiences. Now, of course, I think Alex McAndless had other reasons for getting off the grid. Perhaps he just wanted that self-sufficiency. Perhaps he just wanted to get out away from people in general. But again, a big theme of that is getting back into nature. And as we all know, nature definitely rejuvenates you. I was in Washington, D.C. around a year ago, and Tan Le, the CEO of Emotiv, was talking about this. And she's been a big part of developing that personal EEG device that goes on your head and reads your brainwaves. And she was talking about what we need to do is put those devices on people that are going into nature, seeing what it does to the brainwaves, seeing and running other tests about why it's so rejuvenating, why it's so good for us, and figure out why, again, it's so good for us and how we can actually get that experience not even to simulate it, but to augment it, to actually get us feeling that more, get us back into nature and just be more healthy in general.
The three of us wanted to answer. We wanted to actually measure and quantify exactly what is going on in my brain when I experience those amazing imagery of nature. And so one of the things that really excites me the most about brain research in the last decade is that we have moved beyond psychology, psychiatry, and neurology, and we've merged with other disciplines: statistical analysis, artificial intelligence, machine learning, even material sciences, information technology, with advances in technology contributing to ever better, faster, and smarter devices.
I think with the advent of more biofeedback technology, with the advent of more augmented reality technology, we can do it. And we're going to streamline other technologies too, being more green in general, having solar panels and wind power, and basically integrating our society back into the natural world so that our physical and mental health is at the highest and our population levels out and we can do whatever we want to do, go to Mars or what have you. So I'm going to leave it at that. My idea is I think that technology can be integrated back into the natural world. It's just going to take some artistic and highly intelligent people and driven people to make that happen. And I think it will over time. If you have any questions, leave comments in the video below. This is Cody Rall with TechforPsych. Thanks so much for listening. Talk to you next time. Hey, it's Cody Rall with TechforPsych, coming to you from the Potomac, Washington, D.C. waterfront. And what I've noticed in the past 2 years of doing this is that you, the viewer, really wants to get involved with neurotechnology, but you don't necessarily have means of doing so. Now I'm going to tell you how you can do that in just a second, but first I just want to thank you for being a part of this community. It's a group of people that are interested in self-development by using principles in neuroscience and innovations in neurotechnology, and it's been a great ride so far. Now let me tell you about the brain games. We here at TechforPsych want to put on a competition in which mind athletes come together from around the country and compete in different cognitive domains to include meditation using biofeedback, memorization, control of robotic limbs and drones by using brain-computer interface, and decision-making skills. Now the mind athletes that win each category are going to be recognized nationally, win prizes, and get to work with neurotechnology companies to help develop their products. In addition, mind athletes can agree to undergo brain scans and other studies in an effort to democratize their cognitive strategies for the population. Now, if you're interested in supporting the brain games or entering as a mind athlete, subscribe to the channel here and take a look at www.techforpsych.com. Subscribe to the email list. We'll keep you updates on the Kickstarter campaign, where we will consider certain donation amounts as automatic entry fees to be a mind athlete if you want to do so. Again, subscribe to the channel, take a look at the website. The more people that we have on board, the better that we're able to talk to academic institutions, financial backers, and neurotechnology companies to help make the brain games a reality. It's Cody Rall with TechforPsych. Thanks so much for tuning in. Talk to you next time soon.